everyone and welcome back to Sprinkle of Paper. Today we're going to be making a fun Harry Potter shirt. So the idea for this shirt came from a card decal that my daughter Madison and I saw at the grocery store. And the saying is, just a Hogwarts girl living in a muggle world. So if you're a Harry Potter fan and a Journeys fan, this is the perfect project for you. So just follow along to find out where you could find this font for free, what supplies are needed, how to create the design in Cricut Design Space, and how to assemble it. And if you're looking for an even easier way to create this project, go ahead and just download the free SVG found in the description box. The supplies needed are a Cricut mat, a heat mat or an ironing board, heat press or an iron, a lint roller, measuring tape, HTV of your choice, and also a shirt. Now before I do anything, I'm going to lint roll my shirt to make sure that I have a nice clean surface. Now I'm just going to measure the width of the shirt so I can see how big I want my design. So now over in Cricut Design Space, we're going to create our design. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on text. And now we're going to type in our phrase. Next, we're going to change the font. The font I'll be using is a free font that can be found over on dafont.com. So once you're on the website, just type in Harry P, and once you locate the font, just click download. Now the font's going to be downloaded directly onto your computer, and now you just need to open up the file, and we're going to be selecting the TTF file. Now just click install, and the font will be automatically uploaded into Cricut Design Space for you. If you already have Cricut Design Space open on your computer, you might just need to close it down and then restart it to make sure that the font has downloaded correctly. Once you're back on Cricut Design Space, you can locate your font by either going over to System, where you can find all of the fonts that you've had downloaded from your computer, or you can go over to Filter and click on Downloads. Is I'm just going to go up to the top and I'm going to adjust the width of my design to 8.5, and that's the measurement that we took at the beginning when we were measuring our shirt. So now that we have the perfect font for our design, I just want to go in and adjust the spacing between the words. So there are several ways that we can do this. The first way we can do it is by just going up to the top toolbar and adjusting the line spacing. So if I decrease the line spacing, it is going to bring the words closer together. But as you can see here, living and muggle, they're getting too close. And then Hogwarts and living, they're not close enough. So I need to go in and I need to move them all individually. So to do that is actually really simple. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the design, and once it's highlighted, I'm going to go over to the right-hand corner, the top right-hand corner, and I'm going to click Ungroup. Now I can just highlight each word or line and then move it exactly where I would like it. Once you're happy with the design, just highlight the whole thing and click Weld. By doing this, you're just welding together any of the letters that are touching, and you're also making sure that everything stays in place when you head over to the cutting page. And now the most important step when working with HTV is you just need to make sure that you mirror your image, which is just flipping it upside down. Now just click Continue and select your material. The material I'll be using is a shimmer HTV that can be found at Hobby Lobby. The brand is Paper Studio, and I use this brand all the time. I find that it's really reasonable, it's comparable to the Cricut brand, and I've never had any issues with it, except if I don't follow the directions. So I've used the shimmer material in the past, and I made the mistake of trying to pull off the transfer sheet when it was still hot, and so it would pull off some of the HTV from the material, which was very frustrating at the time, but then I realized that with shimmer iron-on, you need to let it cool a little bit. You need to pull it off when it's warm, not when it's hot. So moral of the story, make sure you always read the directions. Now I'm just going to attach my iron-on to my Cricut cutting mat, shiny side down. So the shiny side is actually the transfer sheet I was just talking about that will be pulled off, and the matte side is actually the vinyl we'll be cutting through. So you want to make sure you always place it shiny side down. While my design is cutting, I'm going to double check my iron-on instructions, and I'm going to set my Easy Press Mini to medium. I'm currently using my Cricut Easy Press Mini for all of my iron-on projects, but I just ordered one of the larger ones that should be coming in the mail any day now, and I'm so excited. Fingers crossed it was worth it. I will definitely keep you posted on my thoughts. Now, a little trick for centering your design, and I'm sure you've heard me mention this in so many videos, but what you're going to do is you're going to fold your shirt in half, and then you're just going to take your heat press or your iron and you're going to run it down the seam just to make a line, so then you can easily line up your design. Before weeding out my design, I like to cut off any of the scrap pieces. Iron-on can sometimes get a little pricey, so I like to save all of these smaller scraps for smaller projects. Now when weeding out my vinyl, I just kind of work around the edges and work my way in. And then once I'm done doing that, I just use my weeding tool to go in and pull out any of the negative space, which means like between an E, an O, an A, any of those places where you're going to have the little circles, just make sure you pull all those out. You really want to double check. The last thing you want is to ruin an iron-on project because you forgot to pull out the middle of an O. I've done it before and it is so frustrating. So just make sure that you pull out all of those little negative spaces. So anytime I do a vinyl craft, I always think to myself, I need to order one of those tweezy rings. And if you don't know what a tweezy ring is, it's basically just a little ring you put on your finger. I think it's actually made for nail polish, but it's a great way to collect vinyl scraps. And I've been meaning to order one, and every time I finish a project, I just completely forget. So to hold myself accountable, what I'm going to do is as soon as I'm done with this craft, I'm going to order 2 of them. So in the next video where I'm wearing it, I'll send one out to the first person who comments tweezy ring. Now we are almost done with our project and I love how it's turning out. So the last thing I need to do is I just need to center the design onto the shirt, and I'm going to place the design about 2 inches down from the collar. I'm also just going to measure the distance on each of the sides just to ensure that it's actually centered. Once the placement is perfect, I'll just use my Easy Press Mini to iron it on. I did speed this part up, but it took me about 3 minutes to completely iron on this design. Now this next step is optional, but I typically turn my shirt or my project over and then I'll use my iron or my heat press on the back just to ensure that the iron-on is secure to the fabric. Now I'll just wait a few minutes for my shirt to cool, and then I'll very carefully pull back the transfer sheet. And there you have it. I mean, how fun is this shirt? I feel like the shimmery gold against the maroon and then that free Harry font with the saying, it just makes for the perfect Harry Potter shirt. I absolutely love it, and so does my daughter. So I would love to see if you guys ended up making this yourself. If you did, please tag me over on Instagram at Sprinkle with Paper. And then if you want to download this SVG for free, if you'd rather not download the free font, then just visit sprinklewithpaper.net. I will have it linked down in the description. And before you click off, Just make sure that you hit that subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment, share, all the things, and until next time, happy crafting.